What's up, everyone? Today, we're taking you deep into Colorado's most remote and bizarre towns. Places so hidden, you'll barely believe they exist. These aren't tourist traps. These are towns with populations you can count on one hand, places cut off by snow, and communities with secrets you won't hear anywhere else. We're exploring 7 of the wildest towns in Colorado, each more unbelievable than the last. From spiritual enclaves to ghost towns that only exist for a few months, this journey was an adventure just to film. Trust me, you don't want to miss the last town. It's the most jaw-dropping of all. Let's get started. First up, Crestone, Colorado, a town that feels like another planet. Tucked at the base of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, Crestone is known as the spiritual capital of the New Age. With fewer than 200 residents, it's home to over 24 spiritual centers: Zen, Buddhist, Hindu, and more. The town is a patchwork of log cabins, ornate stupas, and prayer flags fluttering in the wind. Locals are monks, artists, and seekers who left city life behind for peace and enlightenment. The energy here is serene and otherworldly. We met people living off-grid, building Earthship homes, and meditating in the hills. Stories of UFOs and energy vortexes are just part of daily conversation. The main street is tiny, just a grocery, a couple of cafes, and some art galleries. But the real Crestone is hidden in the hills, where each spiritual center feels like its own village. You'll hear chanting echoing through the valleys and see meditation in every corner. The mountains are said to have a special energy, drawing people from all over the world. It's a place where the mystical is normal, and the pace of life is slow and intentional. Getting here is tough, but the reward is a community living on its own terms. Imagine waking up to monastery bells instead of traffic. Crestone is a world apart, and we're just getting started. Next up, a town frozen in time. Check out this view. No wonder people think it's magical. If Crestone is spiritually remote, Silverton is physically remote. Nestled high in the mountains, Silverton is a living Wild West relic, reachable by the harrowing $1 Million Highway or a historic steam train. The town's Victorian buildings, old saloons, and wooden boardwalks look straight out of a cowboy movie. Once a booming mining town, Silverton's population now hovers around 600 hardy souls. Winters are brutal, snow measured in feet, not inches, and isolation is a way of life. We explored abandoned mines and heard stories of miners braving freezing tunnels and constant danger. The Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad still brings visitors each summer, retracing the same route miners once took. Inside the saloons, you'll find bullet holes and artifacts from a rowdy past. Every building has a story, of fortunes won and lost, of gunfights and grit. Living here means embracing history and surviving in one of the most beautiful, challenging places in America. Silverton is a testament to resilience and the spirit of the West. But now, let's visit a town built entirely on a single, world-famous rock. Onward to Marble. Scenic train whistle fades out. Cut to next location. Transition music. Welcome to Marble, Colorado. A town so small you could miss it, but its stone built the Lincoln Memorial and the tomb of the unknown soldier. With just over 100 residents, Marble sits in a stunning valley surrounded by jagged peaks. The Yule Marble Quarry is a massive, gaping hole in the mountains, producing some of the world's purest marble. Discarded marble blocks are everywhere, used as benches, yard art, even retaining walls. We met a local sculptor who carves masterpieces from the same stone that shaped American monuments. Marble's history is a cycle of boom and bust, thriving when the quarry is open, nearly vanishing after disasters. The community is a mix of artists, locals, and solitude seekers. Winters are harsh, but the beauty is unmatched. The iconic Crystal Mill, perched above a waterfall, is just a treacherous drive away, and worth every bump. Marble is a place where nature and history collide, and the landscape is as valuable as gold. It's a quiet, resilient town, defined by a single element. Next, we're heading to a town that disappears for most of the year. You heard right. This place becomes a ghost town every winter. Let's go to Gothic. Cut to snow-covered mountains. Transition music. Quick montage of marble blocks. Fade out. Gothic, Colorado, where winter erases the map. In summer, this ghost town comes alive as a world-class science hub, the Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory. For 3 months, Over 150 scientists and students flood the old mining cabins, studying climate change and mountain ecosystems. The rest of the year, Gothic is buried under 20+ feet of snow, totally inaccessible. The contrast is wild cutting-edge research in cabins with no running water, surrounded by wildflowers and wildlife. Once a booming silver town, Gothic was abandoned until a biologist bought it in 1928 for a few $100. Now it's a living laboratory, scientists netting butterflies, sampling soil, and living in the wilderness. When the first snow falls, it's a race to pack up and leave before the town vanishes again. Gothic is a place out of time, where science and nature meet, and the cycle of life and silence repeats every year. From a town that disappears, we're off to one that's barely hanging on. Next stop, Bonanza. Population, maybe 8. Cut to abandoned cabins. Transition music. Quick shots of scientists at work. Fade out. Snow falls over empty cabins. Cut to next location. Music fades. Deep in Colorado's mining country lies Bonanza, a town that once boomed with 1,500 people, now home to just a handful. Getting here means miles of rough dirt roads, no cell service, and total isolation. The town is a haunting mix of crumbling cabins and a few lovingly maintained homes. We wandered through abandoned schoolhouses, general stores, and blacksmith shops, frozen in time, dust covering everything. The silence is profound. Nature is slowly reclaiming what's left. We met one of the last residents, a local historian who acts as the unofficial mayor and caretaker. He shared stories of shootouts, silver fortunes, and the wild days of the boom. Every collapsing building has a tale, a saloon brawl, a lost mine, a family's dream. Living here is like stepping into a living history book, surrounded by rugged wilderness. Bonanza isn't for the faint of heart. It's for explorers and those who crave solitude. It's a true ghost town, not a tourist attraction. But our next stop claims to be the first mining town in the Rockies. Let's head to Pitkin. Cut to mountain roads. Transition music. Old photos fade in and out. Wind whistles through empty buildings. Fade out. Quick shot of population 8 sign. Cut to next location. Now we're in Pitkin, Colorado, the first mining camp on the Rockies' western slope. Founded in 1879, Pitkin is a tiny grid of dirt roads, historic cabins, and a year-round population under 100. In summer, visitors come for ATV trails, fishing, and mountain views. The town's pride is its history, original town hall, old schoolhouse, and a cemetery with headstones from the 1880s. Locals keep the spirit alive, sharing stories of brutal winters and the simple, peaceful life here. Pitkin never became a full ghost town. Residents adapted, turning it into a remote mountain getaway. The mining roads are now trails for adventure, and the past is everywhere you look. It's a hidden gem, preserving the resilient spirit of the Rockies. But for our final stop, we're leaving mining behind and heading way back in time. Next, a town obsessed with dinosaurs. Cut to dinosaur statue. Transition music. Quick shots of ATV trails and old cabins. Fade out. Welcome to Dinosaur, Colorado, a town that fully embraces its prehistoric name. Located on the Utah border, Dinosaur is tiny but unforgettable. Dinosaur statues line the streets, and every road has a dino-themed name: Brontosaurus Boulevard, Stegosaurus Freeway. The town changed its name in 1966 to capitalize on its proximity to Dinosaur National Monument, one of the world's top fossil sites. At the monument, you can see over 1,500 real dinosaur bones embedded in a cliff face, 150 million years old. The town is a quirky gateway, with locals who love the theme and a diner serving dino-named dishes. It's kitschy, weird, and totally unique, a roadside attraction come to life. Dinosaur proves that even the most remote towns can find a wild, creative identity. From spiritual seekers to miners, scientists to dino fans, Colorado's hidden towns are packed with stories you'll never forget. Which one would you visit? Cut to dinosaur mural. Transition music. Quick shots of fossils and statues. Fade out. End montage. Music swells. That's a wrap on our wild tour of Colorado's most unbelievable towns. Which one blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. Would you visit or even live in any of these places? Thanks for joining us on this adventure. If you enjoyed it, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next journey. Your support helps us keep exploring the world's hidden corners. See you in the next video. End screen with subscribe button.